Hopefully this works. Okay, I think I'm live. Hello. Yes. Hi. I am Nectaria, the owner of Sophistication, and I hope that I've figured out some of the audio issues. So hopefully we don't have audio issues like we had the last time. I design and print bath bomb molds, so 3D printed bath bomb molds, as well as several other products. And I test all of my designs before I release them. So I try to go live every once in a while so that you can see the testing and see what's coming. Plus, I think that it has helped my customers to kind of, if they are having trouble with a particular design, if I've got it somewhere for them to watch, many of them have found it helpful. So, I have already made my mix, which is in this bowl right here, for those on the front. It is one of the formulas from bathfizzandfoam.com. And they actually have a free formula, and then they have some paid formulas. And yes, so it's one of their formulas, and the color is from Scandalous Soap Company. It's a lake colorant from Scandalous Soap Company. I think it's called lime green, which from my video, the overhead camera gets a better indicator of the color of this. So what I like to do is split my batch into little sections, especially when I'm doing a live, because I talk a lot, so it takes me a little longer to make. And bath bomb mix only has a certain amount of time before it dies out on you. So I just find that if I don't binderize everything, it kind of lasts a little longer. Maybe it's my imagination. Is it just my imagination? Okay, so I'm just adding my binder. I use water as my binder. Some people use witch hazel. Some people use 91% rubbing alcohol. Some people use 70% rubbing alcohol. Some people use basically 50% because they do a 50-50 mix of alcohol and water. You just do what's best for you. Okay, you figure that out. I have 1, 2, 3 designs to test, but one of those designs is in multiple sizes. And then I have other bath bombs I am planning to make. Oops. My chat right now is set to show me top chat, but I want it to just show me all chat. I don't know if that's something I can change. Live chat. There we go. So hopefully I will be able to see any chat thingamajiggies that people may leave. Oops. Okay, so and I am new to YouTube live streaming, and one of the things I liked about, and my peeps liked about the Facebook live streams, is you could see the comments when you watched the replay. And although I've told YouTube to play the comments with the replay, so far I have not seen that happen. So I don't know if it's a setting that I'm doing, but I feel like I've toggled that to do it. But let me just see. But anyway, so if I see any comments, I will try to remember to read the comment aloud so that if you are watching the replay, you will be able to know what people were chatting about. Now, if it's just a hi, just blah, 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 I probably won't do it. But if it's especially a question or something. Okay, I've just added my, as you saw, my binder. And now I'm just trying to get that binder really mixed in to the whole mix. I can feel that this is coming together. I'm trying to smush the mix. I do that with my hands, like kind of squeezing it as I go. Plus, I kind of smush with my palms. You really want to help these get together. It's a little dirty. Maybe they need a little room. Brown chicken, brown cow. Anyway, and you can test it. When you squeeze it, it should be able to stay together. I drop it and it doesn't break, and I pick it up and it still is not breaking. I mean, it can break, but so that is feeling pretty good. Okay, so Skalski1 says hola, hola. I know a little bit of Spanish, but that's about it. Okay, so let's do our first design to test is a requested design of, the lighting is always bad on here, but it's a house. So one of my customers has realtors who want to gift bath bombs, I think, to their clients who just purchased homes. And so I was asked to design a house mold. And this is what I came up with. Now I'm putting some embeds in here as well, because that's just too much fun. And this is a regular size house, but this is the design where I have 2 to test because the customer really wants a midi size, which is a little smaller than the regular size. And but first I test the regular size, because if it doesn't work in a regular, it's probably not going to work in the midi. Skalski says Genesis. Oh, hey, Genesis. You said it correct, though. That's my maiden name. Not sure if I said that right. It says that's my maiden name? Ah, look at that. Well, look at the things we learn as we switch platforms. After I test these designs, I will be making, I think, I have an idea of what I want to make, but I may change my mind, so I won't tell you what I'm making yet. But if you're watching the replay, I don't know if it's there yet if you're watching the replay, but my plan is to set timestamps so you can like have little chapters at the bottom and skip. It's adorable. Look at this cute little house. It's a little house with, let's see, with like a door and a window and a little heart thingy up at the top there. Very hard to see it, but these cameras are not that good for this. Anyway, so that is adorbs, and I love it. And then next up is the midi version of that. So same idea. My goal with regular size bath bombs is to molds is to make them around 150 grams. Could be 140, could be 160, could be 130, could be, try not to go to 170. And then midi is 80 to 100 grams. So I've got a few things that are happening with my business. So I figured I'd chat a little bit about that because some of my customers may be seeing some changes. Changes. So I've talked about the fact that basically, okay, so as part of my plan all the time for my business was eventually, so I'm located in Canada, and my plan eventually was to open a location, sort of a distribution place, manufacturing place in the US. So I am American. I was like, do I move to the US? Do I stay in Canada? And my husband's Canadian. And I don't think we're moving from Canada. Anyway, so it was always my plan to find a way at some point as my business grew to kind of have a location in the US as well. Oh, adorable. Adorable. Look at it. It's the same thing. Let's see if I can show you. You can't see. Oh, this camera. Anyway, it's super cute. I'm going to try making that in a mini size. And then I'm going to try a micro mini, but without the heart, I think. Anyway, so this is the next request, is a key to go with the house. My timeline has moved up quite a bit on that because although the tariffs do not currently generally affect me and my business, because if orders are less than $800, then they're not subject to the tariffs. But that could go away at any moment. And I don't want my customers to all of a sudden, like, they order something and then all of a sudden they get a bill before the package can be delivered. So I'm working with the masked maker. It's someone who has stepped forward to basically help me out with this. So I'm this person is in the US and I freaking love this. Oh my gosh. So it's a key. Let's see if I can get the right angle. With a little heart on it too, because it goes with the heart house. Can you see it? Oh, there you can kind of see it there. I love it. Oop, I almost dropped it. Let's leave it there. This is a mini, which comes as a one-piece mold. That's what you're seeing here. But also, I sell it as what I call a quad mold, so you can make 4 bath bombs at a time. And I'm going to see if I can make it as a 6 or an 8. And what would a 6 mold be called? I think like a sex mold. And then an 8 would be an octo mold. Anyway, so yes, my US orders are starting to be fulfilled in the US. Now, I don't know yet if all of them, like it's a transition period right now, but I'm super excited about it. So you may be seeing some things about that. Okay. This next mold is a maple leaf. So Canada Day is coming up. So for my American and non-Canadian friends, July 1st is Canada Day. And I designed so I have a US flag mold and I also have a Canada flag mold that I designed a couple years ago. And I had listed them. I think they're both down right now. I can't remember. I think I pulled them both for some reason. Anyway, so let's do this. Let's see if this will work. We'll go like that. Then we'll make this leaf tip be blue and this leaf tip be yellow. See what I'm doing? Except I don't want people to see that before they go. So let's move that in a little. So I had released those, and then someone told me that you cannot use the maple leaf that's on the Canadian flag. Like, it's like kind of like a copyrighted thing, like it's trademarked or something. And I don't know if you have to get government approval. I don't know. But I basically pulled it. I pulled that mold just in case. And the issue is, I guess, like the 9-sided, like the way that it's designed. So I decided I want to make a maple leaf that is not that, like, cannot be confused with it per se. But if people want to make maple leaf for Canada Day, then they can. Now, I don't know. Does this look like a pot leaf too? I don't know. Okay, let's see. There's other comments. Kathy says, hello, hello. Kathy says, I love your color. This is from Scandalous Soap Co. What is it called? I'll tell you. I think it's called lime green. Yes, lime green. Isn't that super cute? I love it. And Kowalski says, that would be so cool for realtors. I have a client who just bought a house and this would be a perfect one for their new tub. Yes, it would. I agree. So thank God one of my customers requested it. Let's see if this will fit on here. Oh, it's going to be, it's a little iffy. So what I'm going to do is demold it like this. I'm just going to go like this without, oops, slamming it down. And I'm just going to tap. Ha 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 ha. Perfecto. I actually really like how that came out. Okay, but pot leaves are 3 leaves, right? I don't know. Okay, so that, I'm not going to make more because I would want to do those white or red. Okay, the next one I've kind of done before. Like I used to have this design. I still have the design. But I recently redesigned it because I wanted to make it a little sturdier. So this is my cast iron pan. This was designed originally. So this would be a good camper, kind of. Like if you're doing a summer camper and combine this with a few other things. But the reason I designed this was that I was trying to come up with designs that could be used for like Disney things without it being Disney. Because, you know, they say don't mess with the mouse, right? So this was Tangled. This was my little Tangled thing. So the idea was if you are making molds for like, I don't know, Comic-Con or something. I don't know. I don't go to those. I don't know how they are. But you could, you're not technically, like I mean, up to you. It's your business. You do what you want to do. But I have heard horror stories of people like losing their houses because of the mouse. So I wanted to have some other options. Now this feels like a pretty big mold. I can't remember the weight of this. And so this should work. I wanted to like get new weights so I could update the listing. Just trying to push that embed in there a little bit more so it's not sticking out. I like my customers to be surprised by the colors that come out. So I think I may make this into a midi as well. But anyway, so it's supposed to be a frying pan for Tangled, but I feel like it could be a good part of a camper set as well. Let's see if this one will fit onto here. Kind of, but not really. Let's just bash it a little more and then I'll just flip it like the other one. Okay. So the house, the key, and the maple leaf, those are all new designs. So those will be listed later on in the week on my website, available for purchase. I like to give a day or so for them to dry. And then I could take pictures and measurements and weigh them out so that on the listing, oh yeah, on the listing, you have all that information. So there is that. You can see there's like a little bit of an indent. So if you really wanted to, you could put some eggs or something in there. I don't know. Okay, that one is also available. I mean, all these are, but I don't really like 3-piece molds that much anymore. So I don't use it that much. But that's available as well as a 3-piece mold. So I'll just show you. I'm not going to keep it. I'll show you how I use 3-piece molds. But I don't want to make a million green frying pans. So I'm just going to make this one and then I'm going to dump it. So what I do for 3-piece molds, I put the sleeve piece on the bottom piece. I would add embeds here now, but I'm not going to bother with that right now. I'm going to fill it up however much I want to. I usually would have my bowl on a scale so that I'm consistent. And then I take the plunger piece and I'm going to put it on. Let's get it on. Ooh, ooh. And I would compress my mix. So earlier, remember, I was compressing that mix while I was mixing it and it was staying together really well. So this is enough for me. But if I was really worried about it, I could, like, if I didn't have much hand strength, things like that, I could put it on this table and like really press down and get my full body into it. Get you back into it. Alternatively, you could use a manual bath bomb press. Anyway, so I just tapped around because it's very secure right now. So that's when I like to do my tapping, when it's very secure. And then I put it down with the plunger side down, so the bottom side up. And I'm just going to lift that. And if it doesn't come off easily, I'm going to tap it a little bit before I lift it. So now that's ready. Now there's a bazillion ways to do this. This is how I do it. I push the plunger piece all the way through. Now, some people don't do this. That's fine. No judgment. It's just how I do it. Then, if I'm really worried, like if it's a very fancy schmancy, like intricate design, I might tap it again. But I use, this is actually originally why I developed these, and why I called it an unmolding plate. Why I do call it an unmolding plate is I should probably call it a demolding plate. Anyway, I put the demolding plate on, or unmolding plate is what is on my website, on this, and I flip it over. Because this way it's very secure. I can move this around anywhere I want, and I'm not worried about it breaking. Whereas if I had just pushed it partly through and flipped it over, I was worried about it falling out. So I just didn't want to worry like that. So I don't. So then I put it on my thing, and I might be able to just lift it. If not, I can tap it, then lift it. I can feel that it's not just coming right off. And there we go. And there you go. So same mold, just done with a 3-piece mold. There's pluses and minuses to each. I think I talk about them in my video, the how to use a 3-piece or hybrid mold. And if not, I'll do a video that talks about the differences between them and what's pluses and minuses of them. Now, this mold, one of the benefits of a 3-piece mold, I don't know if I talked about this, is like this one, I think, is like the same front and back. So, this could be a mirror. It doesn't have to be a cast iron pan. It could be a mirror. So if you were like, it's a mirror, but I don't want this little hole in here, maybe you don't want the mirror to be like an indented mirror. So you could fill this up. Let's do this real quick. You can do this with the 3-piece, not with a hybrid. So this doesn't work with all the 3 pieces, and then instead of putting this piece down, the plunger piece in like that, I could put it in backwards, press it down. Usually with this, I would, just because it makes it easier to press it. And then same exact method other than that. So I'm going to take this part off. I'm going to push it through. Oops. Now it's falling off because it's not, I don't have the same like indentations to kind of hold it in there. But technically I'd put it on a molding plate, flip it over. Now there's your mirror. If you didn't like that side, you can let it dry like this. And then when it's dry, oops, it broke, but flip it back over and there's another option for you for your mirror. So that's kind of one of the benefits of a 3-piece. Okay, the rest of my molds, the rest of the things I'm making are all ones I made before. So, although I kind of want to make more houses, but I'm not going to. I have an event coming up in July. And for that event, I want to have a lot of micro minis because I'm planning to offer wands. And so I've already done like donuts that were micro mini donuts or Fruit Loops, depends on what you want to call them. And so I just wanted to do some more. And then I also was thinking about either doing donuts, or I think really what I'm going to do is the Bookworm that I tested last week because I think it's so cute. And I feel like the Bookworm should be green. So I'm just going to do a couple little rounds of the micro mini donuts. And then I'm going to make the Bookworm. So, now I have nothing else to talk about. So I'm going to talk about something that has nothing to do with making bath bombs. So I will share my little thing that I've been thinking lately. So, business has been a little bit slow. We all know economy's been a little suffering. And anyway, So let me just, this, by the way, the micro mini donut mold needs lots of tapping. So what I do is that I lift this up a teensy bit and then I just tap the mold. Like it is up like less than 1/4 of an inch, not even 5 millimeters, whatever. And they're all just kind of falling out. And I just let them fall out. And because they're so close, they're like that much off, like maybe like 2 widths off, that much, like off of the tray. Let's see, how can I show you? Like that much up, maybe 3 of those, very, very little. Let's see, Kathy says, I have your old version frying pan. Oh, lovely. And Kathy says, I love the Bookworm. I know, isn't he so cute? I'm going to do like 2 more of these micro minis, and then I'm going to do the Bookworm for the rest, I think. Anyway, so the reason I bring up the slowness, it will come up. Okay, it'll come up again. That's just like a little whatever. So meanwhile, I have been, I like watching all sorts of reels and TikToks and whatever. And one of the ones that I like, I don't know why I like watching them, but they're like the cake. It seems to almost always be cake decorators, but I feel like cookie decorators do this too. I feel like it's mostly cake decorators that I see. Anyway, who like are making, but then the voiceover is them talking about some horrible customer experience. Like either a horrible customer experience or like somebody contacts them and is like, I'm picking up the cake tomorrow, just confirming. And they're like, crap, I didn't have that on my list and whatever, right? Or else it's somebody who's like ordered a cake. They were very specific and blah, blah, blah. And then they like send pictures of a, like basically a 3/4 eaten cake. And they're like, I want my money back. The cake was horrible. And it's like, you literally like ate the cake and then you could tell you threw it all over the table to make it look like you didn't. Anyway, and so then they talk about like what they did and should they have done it. And I don't know why. I watch that stuff. I guess it's more like, oops, see, one just broke because I was a little too aggressive with my tapping. That one looks iffy. And I was a little higher up than I normally am. I can hear them falling. So thank God I do not have those kinds of stories. I have not, I mean, now of course I spoke it into existence and I did not knock on any wood. But I'm like watching those and I'm like, this is kind of good content. I'm always looking for good content. And like a little part of me, not much, but I'm just like, not that I'm like, I want a bad experience with a customer, but I'm just like, I want to have content like that where it's like me painting a bath bomb or doing something like painting a freshie, whatever, making a bath bomb. And that's what you see. But then like, it's my voiceover of something that others can relate to. And I'm like, I'm blessed that I don't have horrible customers, but then what do I do? So anyway, back to business, a little bit slow for a little while. We've been pivoting and then something else happens and then we pivot and then something else happens and then we pivot. I'm like, I am getting dizzy from all this pivoting. Anyway, so a Facebook memory came up in my little memories, I think yesterday, that's when like I had done some vague posting 3 years ago. And yesterday I clarified the vague posting, which was that I was giving my notice at work. So I used to work at a bank and I quit a very, very, it was a nice paycheck. Let's just put it that way, to focus on my business. And it's funny because even in that post, I was like, it's a little scary to give up like a steady paycheck and, blah, blah, blah. And there were some other things about like why I was doing it, what I was looking forward to. And you know what? Like, I looked at that and I was like, I've been running my business and pivoting for 3 years now. Well, before that, because I was running the business as a side hustle before then. And like, so far, I've been like living off of my business. Granted, thank God, like I am married. It's very different if you don't have a supportive spouse or a family member or partner, or you don't have a partner at all. So privilege right there. I get that. So I just was like, I need to really like, as much as like there are times when I'm like, oh, like this is hard, and you know, like I miss the money. Should I go back to, you know, working for the man? Oops, that one's breaking. Or should I continue to stick this out? And, you know, depending on the day, I could have different. The day I really want a Starbucks, I'm like, I got to go back and get a paycheck again. But seeing that, I think I might need to add my other mix because this is starting to break now. So I'm being a little more gentle in my tapping. Anyway, I was thinking like I need to really like look at like, you know, what are the things that I've accomplished that like, that are pretty damn cool. Like, come on, come on, come on. There you go. Oops, it hit my finger as it fell, this one. Like, although I don't like that one. That one looks a little iffy. You know, like being able to like run this business for this long, for whatever, you know? So anyway, I was like, maybe that's my little, it's like really thinking about that and thinking about like instead of like focusing on how hard it's been, like focus on the things I wanted and like why I left my job, why I was not satisfied, and you know, how satisfying running my business can be. Kathy says, those little donuts are so cute. And then, oh my gosh, that donut emoji just makes me want a donut, and then a little green heart. And I love it. I may want a donut because I haven't really eaten today. Well, I had eggs. Sorry, I had 2 eggs this morning. But now it's 2:30 and I am ready for some lunch. Well, I've been ready for lunch over an hour ago. Anyway, so yes. So it's not the same content, but I feel like there's many times that we like think about like kind of the grass is greener, right? Like I may think about like, oh man, I wish I had that steady paycheck, but I was working and like looking forward to vacation all the time because I was just like, oh, like I needed to make that money because I needed to go away on vacation, you know? Stosky says, and the community you have created. Yes, this community, you guys are the best. The best. Like seriously. Like, so I will say that one of the things I noted, I need a little more of this. My mix is kind of dying because I'm talking too much. So one of the things that I talked about in that post that I was feeling was I felt like I wasn't really making a difference, that I wasn't, like I was just kind of going through the motions. I wasn't, I'll have to look at the wording, but basically, you know, I felt like when I started, like I was kind of working with people and inspired by and inspiring others. And I just felt like that wasn't happening for a while. And I feel inspired by this community. And I think based on what people have said that I inspire others. And I really, really like, that's a big thing for me. So I do have some knowledge from my MBA training, whatever, MBA education, and my years of working in corporate finance. And I'm like, I need to start developing some stuff to help, you know, some products to help kind of share that knowledge and help others. So, you know, to me, that again goes in line with me before feeling like I wasn't really making a difference. And I do feel like my products, you know, these molds, these designs help makers stand out in their markets. And they're not just like another, you know, like, I mean, nothing wrong with spheres. And like sometimes spheres are fun and things like that, right? But like these different designs, I know when I'm doing markets, like people come over and they're like, that's amazing. Like, I've never seen so many designs and whatever, right? Which maybe I have too many designs. Is that such a thing? Anyway, I really feel like having, like it can help you differentiate yourself in those markets. And even as I've applied, sometimes you apply to markets and they're like, oh, we have another bath bomb maker. We have another soap maker. We have another. And I'm like, do you have a bath bomb maker like me? Let me show you what I got. Do they have what I got? And they might. But so far, they haven't. I love this design. I think it's so sticky cute, and it's even cuter as a green one. A little bookworm, which let me show you. I have one that I painted. It's blue, but you'll get an idea of it because it's all painted so you can see it. Isn't it so cute? I love it. I love it. And those glasses totally make me think of, is it Sadness that's in Inside Out? Anyway, so thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Kathy says, it's time for me to eat. Ooh, bacon and eggs. That looks good to me. Kathy says, you should try a video like that. You can do it. Thank you. Yes, a video like me talking about things like the voiceover video, or a video like of teaching people businessy things, not teaching, sharing business. I don't know how to explain it. Or maybe both. Maybe you're saying both. Okay, let's do that. This mix is starting to go, so I'm going to just work a little faster. Kathy says again, I love your bookworm with that green heart. Isn't it? I think it's super cute. Super stinking cute. Oh, that's the next thing. Subscription boxes are coming. Can you believe it's already been? So that also means, like, I never released the summer sub box that was carnival themed, carnival and circus themed. So I need to get that released this week. And I usually do that about a month after I send out the sub boxes, and I guess things were a little crazy for me. But May 15th is when the new sub boxes are scheduled to be released so that you can start ordering them. If you haven't heard about my sub boxes, they're amazing. Okay, not really. I don't really feel like, they are, but like, don't sound like whatever. My customers really like them, I promise. So there are multiple types. They're bath bomb mold sub boxes, subscription boxes. And I always try and throw a little something extra in there, whether it's bath bomb mold related or something else. And they come out 4 times a year. So it's once a quarter. And you can sign up for the whole year, or you can just get a one-time box. If you sign up for the year, you get a bit of a discount. And so they will get released. You can start ordering them May 15th through June 15th. And they will go out in the beginning of July. Now, given the holiday, will they go out the first week of July or the second week of July? I don't know, but they definitely will go out before mid-July. I wonder if I can get one more of these in here. I think so. And I have an idea of what the theme will be, but basically it's a surprise of what they are. But I give a little hint of what the design theme is in the product photo. So if you look at my website now and you look at the product photo for the last subscription box, which is what is up there now, then you will see what the product photo was for the carnival/circus theme one. And you'll see what I mean about it being like a hint. So I have an idea. It is technically the fall box because as makers, if you're a maker, you got to be making fall stuff before fall. So that is why I get the fall box out in July. so that you have time to be making your stuff. There are, I think right now, there are 4 boxes available. There's the starter box, the regular box, the mega box, and the mini box. And then if you get the mega, you can upgrade it to be a combo of the mega and mini, which is like you get everything. Now, I will say that definitely the last, and maybe the one before that, there was nobody who got the mini box, which originally that was like very specifically requested. So if nobody orders the mini box again, I may be getting rid of that. I'm not sure. Let's just make some donuts with the last of this. So what I'm going to do, well, I kind of want to make another key. I think there's enough for 6 in here. So there is a little table of like what each of them means and what you get. So every box gets a micro mini mold. Every box gets a mini mold. It's just about like what size is the mini mold, like how many can you make at a time. The boxes, except for the mini box, get like at least 1 full-size bath bomb mold, and you get to choose. Do you want 3-piece molds or you want hybrid molds? Because I love hybrids, but there are people out there who are like, I cannot make a hybrid work for me to save my life. And then there are people who are the other way. So who am I to tell you what to do? I am nobody. So you choose what you want for your business. I will say if you sign up for the year, you do get that discount, but that means you have to stay for the year. If you cancel early, there is a fee, like a penalty. So if you're not sure, just get a 1-monther. Okay, let's just get rid of the rest of this. Did any fall out? No. I don't know if they're going to last. There. Oh, they're just falling out. I just want to go really lightly because this mix is a little more delicate now. Delicate. So I don't want to crack them. Crack-a-lacka. And I think actually I can get like 2 more in here. So let's try that. But everybody who's gotten the sub box, I don't think I've had one person tell me that it wasn't a good deal. Like, so. And it is theme-based because my thought is that if you offer a sub box, now you don't have to think about the theme. You have all the bath bombs to make your subscription box, and it will go out in time because, you know, you're getting it in July, not in September. I mean, anyway, okay. Stalsky says, they are amazing. I do love mine. And how you set up the boxes. You can get literally the type of molds you like, and there are always new designs. Yes! That is what stresses me out a lot, is that I do come up with new designs. So there's no risk that you have a sophistication mold that is that design. Like, you will not get a pre-existing sophistication design. I do try to come up with designs that I haven't seen elsewhere, but I don't see all the mold makers out there. So I guess there's a chance I come up with a design that somebody else has. And I mean, the donut is a prime example. Like, some are just standard designs. Like, I wouldn't put a donut in a sub box, but when I first came out with a donut, like, I know there were other people who had donuts. So Scalzi says, ooh, spoilers. Right now I won't have spoilers, but we will see what happens. Anyway, that is it. These were the bath bombs I made. Thanks so much for joining me. Sometimes I make freshies live, and I think I'm going to be making some freshies later this week. I don't know. I have an audition on Friday night. So usually I do Freshie Friday, but I may be like working on my audition piece because, okay, I don't get this. If you're an actor, you will understand this. If you're not, like, ignore this. But I am auditioning for a farce, and the audition requirements are to do a monologue. And I'm like, I don't know, that just feels weird. Anyway, that is it. Kathy says, thanks so much, Nectaria, with little hearts. Thank you. Or what does the kids do? They do something else. That? Is that it? I don't know. Is that it? I don't know. I don't have the hand coordination. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me and happy making. Let's see how I stop this now. Can I stop it?